You and I have had such, I think, fascinating conversations about this because all of this Gabe stuff, right? He's suspended for tonight. He gets into it with a reporter at Oracle Park over seemingly nothing, and then goes on an interview to sort of, you could tell, like he purposely went on the interview so that he could put out his version of an apology, and you, JD, will have absolutely none of it.
It's just unnecessary.
Which part?
Doing an interview specifically to explain and or apologize. Like, to me, he's trying. Look, he made a mistake. He got a little out of pocket in the original scrum, going back to Wednesday afternoon post game. All he has to do, and he really doesn't have to do this if he doesn't want to, but all he has to do, in my mind, is say to that reporter after everybody else clears out of the office, "Hey, man, my bad. I got out of pocket." Or text him afterwards if they have each other's number. "Hey, my bad. I got out of pocket. It was a fair question. I lost it a little bit."
Maybe he did do that.
And we moved. And he probably did.
He probably did.
My experience is he probably did do that.
Yeah.
With the reporter. So at that point, like, that's it. Like, he got a little out of pocket. He made a mistake. But to me, he's trying to take something where he messed up, and he's trying to use it to his advantage now by coming out and over the top explaining the thought process of why he was upset, and he goes on to talk about how the reporter is such a great young man, and he's going to he's going to have a beautiful career and all this stuff, which that may very well be true. But
how is it to his advantage? You said to use it to his advantage.
He's trying to use it to his advantage. He's trying to garner favor by publicly acknowledging that he messed up while also explaining, like, you don't need to do that.
Well, what if
you just quietly do it, move on.
Okay, but what if I submit to you that what did happen the other day ended up in a very public space, broadcasted on NBC Sports Bay Area. You and I played the sound multiple times. Everybody's talking about it, so he knows that what he's done has garnered a public reaction. And there were people who were critical. And I don't know about upset, like you said. It wasn't like,
it really wasn't that big of a
like
deal.
He was like throwing something at somebody or whatever. But he garnered criticism, and so why should he have to? Maybe I'm just devil's advocate. I'm trying to understand, to be honest with you, like why not do it publicly?
Because it's just extra.
But the criticism was public, so why can't the response, the explanation, the apology be public?
I feel it's another example of him. It's being fake. It's trying to go over the top and tell everybody how real he is and show everybody how real he is, and it's just fake and unnecessary and just too much. Just move on. Just you owe the explanation of the discussion to the reporter. Dap him up. My bad. On to Atlanta at that point in time. Like, he's trying to use a negative situation to now garner favor as acknowledging, but like, he wants the public conversation to be about, all right, you know what, Gabe's a good guy. He had admitted that mistake and explained why he lost his cool, lost his composure.
I think you might be putting some thoughts in his head or into the situation. And you have been very, very clear. And this week is not new for you. You've been very, very clear. And tell me if I say anything that is inaccurate, JD. But Gabe Kapler kind of rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I think he's a phony.
Okay. So if we're fair on that Gabe Kapler rubs you the wrong way, and I think this is true, forget Gabe for a second. If people rub you the wrong way, if somebody rubs you the wrong way, you're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Or your reaction to them, by definition, might be, it's going to skew on the negative side. They don't have any goodwill built up with you if somebody rubs you the wrong way. I guess what I'm getting at is, I feel like Gabe, and I'm just going to spotlight you as an example because there are so many out there who agree with you, but I don't think he could have won with you this week. You were either going to walk away not liking what he did to Danny on Wednesday, or you were going to come out today and not like the fact that he came out and said what he did was wrong. Well, so he either was wrong for doing it and he's also wrong for saying he was wrong. And like as an observer, I would look at that and go, well, what could he have done to make it okay?
Moved on. Apologized to the reporter and moved on.
But
to
I
me,
don't think anything
it was one small thing. Like part of the reason he rubs me the wrong way is because of the contrived nature of thinking that I have to do another interview to get it out there to everyone that I made the mistake or I got out of pocket or overreacted or whatever. And then on top of all of that, go on to this young reporter's really good and he asks thoughtful questions and he's trying to find his balance between, being a young reporter and asking the tough question. And like that's all way over the top. And that's not to diminish the reporter, who I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he does. He does a great job. I guess I would say this: Gabe did this in the same way.
It's just too much.
Well, he did this in the same way that he does so many things, which is even in the process of trying to sort of be vulnerable. In the process of trying to be vulnerable, he kind of sunned him again. Oh, he's a young guy and he's trying to find his way, and I get it.
That's condescending to me.
I told you this the other day. That part of Gabe, if he rubs you the wrong way, I completely get it. That particular trait doesn't do that to me. I totally understand,
and that's fine.
And I completely understand if it does do that to you. But I would say when you say, "Hey, just move on," I would say. He thinks he is, number one. And number two, very normal in a public space. If you're a celebrity and you're out in front of a public business and you step in mud, it is very normal to publicly address it.
Yeah,
and he did.
But this wasn't
he
that.
Stepped, but it was.
Really wasn't.
But I think he did step in mud.
He didn't say anything offensive. He didn't.
But it was. But we both agreed the other day it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was out of line.
In a press conference after a game where sometimes tensions.
It was out of line. It was out of line. And in a public space, right? Like
here's the other thing. If he wanted to do it in the scrum the next day. Like that to me is different. Like if he wanted to in the same setting, he went out of his way to go on a show and do an interview. It's just
okay.
You don't need to do that.
Guess what but also who got hurt? Like he doesn't need to do that. Okay, but who got hurt in that process?
It's the over explanations.
That's him. Well, he does that when you ask him about a fastball, and he'll talk about
but he's also the smart. He also wants to be the smartest guy in the room.
For sure, absolutely.
So you want to be the smartest guy in the room. You take pride at, in my mind, somewhat over preparing to make sure that you've got the perfect answer for every single question.
Yeah.
You get caught one time, and then you have to over explain not only why you got caught, but how great the kid's next 40-year career is going to be.
Nobody's ever going.
Move on, Gabe. It's okay.
But no one's ever going to accuse Gabe of being quick and dismissive of any conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. At what point is anything that Gabe says or does going to be taken at face value? That would just be. I mean, he messed up this week.
He's given plenty of explanations in post-game press conferences that I've been in that have been taken at face value.